Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Grounded in Purpose. My name is Kara, and in this video, I look forward to sharing with you my journey to medical school. If you have not already, go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you can stay updated with me along my journey. Now, my journey was a journey of struggle, perseverance, doubt, but most importantly, faith and grace. Prospective students, please keep in mind that your journey is your journey. You may have people who doubt you along the way, and if you be honest, you may actually doubt yourself along the way. But remain encouraged and always keep in perspective your what, your why, and your how. If you had to guess, as a child, what do you think I aspired to be? A lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a preacher, a singer? Nope, none of those. I actually wanted to become a mortician. Yes, a mortician. Due to some of my childhood experiences and later on experiences at a funeral home, I really wanted to be able to help families at some of their lowest points and just to comfort families as they went through the process of grieving for their loved one. So as I got older, I began researching what it would take in order for me to become a coroner. And in my state, I found out that being a coroner is not just an elected official, but that you also must be a physician as well. And so initially, that is where my journey began. So a little bit about me. Where did I go to undergrad? I went to the great Tuskegee University. TU? I'm definitely sure somebody said you know. Ultimately decided to major in an allied health profession, clinical laboratory science, also known as medical laboratory science and medical laboratory technologist. Essentially, we do the laboratory work at the hospital. So for those of you who may not know, there are many things that admissions committees look for from prospective medical students. And so because I had not a clue during my first summer, after my freshman year, I decided to do the summer medical and dental enrichment program, SMDP. And it was an amazing opportunity. I was able to get some clinical experience. I was able to brush up on some of my study skills and really just learn some of the path and some of the requirements that I was really going to need in order to be a competitive applicant. And moving forward to the summer of my sophomore year, I was granted the opportunity to actually do a summer research internship program, which was at UVA. And I also did my SMDP program at UVA. And it was an excellent opportunity for me to really learn what research consists of. I had the opportunity of completing research, but I really enjoyed that opportunity, and it was just a great experience overall. Coming back my junior year, I had the opportunity to start research on campus with my mentor, shout out Dr. Alexander. And from my research experiences, I had the opportunity to present and receive awards at numerous conferences, both oral presentations and poster presentations. So research really opened a lot of doors for me, and I was very grateful for that opportunity. So just a little bit of background about my major. For the first 2 years, those were considered your pre-professional years where you would receive your basic sciences. And then in the last 2 years, those were considered my professional years. So those were the years where I was able to do my clinical rotations and really get into the core of being an actual clinical laboratory scientist. Going into my third year, I was officially accepted into my professional program. During that summer, I wasn't able to do any programs because I had to complete requirements for my degree. However, I did have some opportunity to shadow during that summer, and that is the summer where life became real. And I say life became real because I was officially done with my pre-med requisites. So those are basically the courses that you have to take or that they encourage you to take before you take the Mcat. And when I tell you, I don't know why I was so naive to believe that I would be able to go into this exam basically unprepared. I truly thought because I did well in those courses that I was prepared to take my Mcat. So I spent approximately 3 to 4 weeks studying daily. Essentially, I just went back over some of the coursework from those classes, and then I went to go sit for my exam. Oh my goodness, why did I do that? When I tell you that after leaving that exam, I took the biggest slice of humble pie that I have received in my life, because this was truly the first time that I felt myself struggling with an exam. In the past, like with the ACT, as far as that being another standardized exam, like I didn't have any issues with that. I didn't really have too many academic issues while I was in undergrad. So having this exam like slapped me in the face the way that it did, I definitely knew like I have to go back to the drawing board. So after that summer, I went ahead, I completed my senior year, I did my clinical rotations, and then it was on to what is next. I ended up doing Teach for America, which essentially allowed me to teach in Atlanta, and it was an amazing experience. I was a science teacher. I taught 9th grade biology and 12th grade anatomy. So after my first year of teaching, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and tackle this Mcat again. So I took my time that summer. I did some reflecting. I'm like, okay, obviously I was not prepared to take this exam the first time. So I read a lot that summer. I tried to decrease as many knowledge gaps as I could. I spent countless hours that summer preparing to take my exam before the school year started, and I was feeling much more confident about it. I went into the exam, I came out the exam, and I felt like, okay, maybe we can make some improvement. So about a month later, I got my score back. And can you guess what my score was? You guessed it. I got the same exact score. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? Like, I tried to do different things and I got the same exact score. It was like almost a slap in my face. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I had wasted valuable time in that summer only to get the same score. Now, granted, I did go up in some areas and then I did decrease in other areas, but ultimately the number was the same. I ended up ultimately taking a few years away from Mcat and worrying about studying for the Mcat. And during that time, I received my master's degree in teaching from Georgia State. And so I decided, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and give this exam another try. So again, I reflected. I said, last time I didn't do as many questions. I want to make sure that I'm doing more questions. Like, I just need to make sure that I am giving myself the best opportunity to do well. I also ended up signing up for a 4-week review course that was offered by Emory that particular summer. So I was feeling myself. I'm like, okay, we can go ahead. We're going to take this exam. I was making better marks on my practice exams. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this exam. Can you guess what my score was once I received my score back about a month after taking the exam? You guessed it. I got the same exact score for the 3rd time. Oh my goodness. Like, if you can imagine what I felt when I opened up that score, and granted, again, I had some areas that went up and I had some areas went down, but ultimately it was the same score. I was devastated. I was like, oh my goodness, like maybe I'm not cut out for this. Like maybe this is just too much. I'm like, Lord, what do I need to do something else? And I continued the course. I'm just like, you know what? I have to continue on. I have to keep pushing through. I have to figure out what my issues are. And ultimately, I have to persevere through this. This is just an obstacle. I mean, at this point, it's 3 obstacles, but I just knew that I had to continue moving forward. Seeing that I had 3 separate experiences with literally bombing my Mcat, I decided that I really needed to think about my weaknesses. I really needed to evaluate the things that were causing me the biggest struggle. And again, it came down to the questions. Like, even though after the first time I knew I needed to do more questions, and the second time I needed to do more questions, like, it wasn't until my 4th attempt that I really truly made sure that I got the number of questions and got the rigor of questions that I needed in order to do well on my test. So I went into my 4th attempt feeling more confident than ever. I mean, I left my exam and I truly felt like I did everything that I could do to truly increase my score. I really felt like I had given my best. And so I waited for about a month until I got my results. And finally, my score had increased dramatically. It was such an amazing feeling. I was so excited. Like, I can't even explain how good I felt that finally, I have been able to correct some of my errors after all of these years. But yes, I realized that it was not too late. And if you're struggling with some things, realize that it is not too late for you either. I literally cried tears of joy. I mean, I'm talking about happy dance, okay? It was very exciting for me, and I was so happy to share with everyone that I'm going to be applying for medical school again. And at this time, it was going to be the 3rd time that I was going to be applying. So because I finally had a score that was competitive enough for me to get into medical school, you may be wondering why I decided to sit for this exam a 5th time. When I tell you, I was obviously feeling myself because I took my exam, I studied, I prepared, took my exam, got out my exam, was feeling okay about it. And about a month later, got my scores back. And can you guess what my score was? Yes, I got the same score as my 4th attempt. So I said, you know what? So moving forward, I decided to finally take that leap of faith, leave a career which I loved in order to finally apply to medical school with the expectation at this point that I was going to be getting in. I knew that all I needed was one yes. But when I tell you, people were looking at me like I was crazy. Girl, you took the Mcat not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but you took it 5 times. Like, girl, there's no way any medical school is going to accept you. But God, as cliche as it may sound, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the call. And I am a true testament of that. And I'm sure that some of you have similar experiences, whether it's in medicine or whether it's in your prospective field or whether it's just something that you've been able to persevere and complete in your life. Like, truly, this was truly like a pivotal point in just my faith and just truly understanding what it meant to lean on God and truly understanding what it meant to be obedient to his call. What if your blessing was tied up because of your lack of faith and trusting in God's word over your life, and all you truly needed to do was leap? I have no problem in leaping, and even in where I am in my current journey, I understand that sometimes God has to put you in an uncomfortable space for you to know that it was not because of your works, but it was truly because of his will. So I ultimately did not sign my contract for that upcoming school year. I ended up taking that year off. I was serving, I was substituting, and during that time, I just was truly trusting in the process, and I, went ahead, did my application, and I was fortunate to have 2 interviews. My first interview, I actually was waitlisted for, and then my second interview, I received an acceptance. During that summer, I actually was on vacation with my girls. We had a girls trip in Puerto Rico, and I remember getting a phone call from the first school that I interviewed with. And from that phone call, mind you, I was on the wait list. During that phone call, it went a little bit like this. Hello, is this Kara? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, well, I wanted to let you know that we have pulled you from the wait list, and we wanted to know if you would like to accept. Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. No way. But there's no way. Really way. And so it was such an amazing experience. I will never forget that day. I ended up committing to that school because I just loved the environment. I loved the peers, and I just loved the community feel that I got from that school. And so, again, this is my journey. This is how I got to medical school. And again, for you prospective students, continue on. Don't psych yourself out into believing that you are not good enough, that you are not smart enough, that you are not worthy enough, because you truly are. Yes. I was able to get into medical school through hard work, determination, perseverance, struggles, taking the Mcat 5 times, late nights, tears. And I just want to encourage you all. It doesn't matter if you're in medicine. You could be trying to go to law or business or ministry. Whatever it is that you feel called to do, please continue to pursue that. Don't let anyone get in your way or doubt you or tell you that you can't do it, because you truly are capable. You definitely have to put the work in. But other than that, you definitely are capable. If this video has been a blessing to you, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I love interacting with you guys in the comment section. In addition, share the video. I hope that someone may be encouraged and that they may be able to persevere even through their doubt. Again, thank you so much for following me along my journey thus far, and I look forward to sharing much more with you. And remember to stay grounded in purpose.